Hey mate, how's it going? Welcome back to Football Therapy, man. Welcome back. I haven't seen you for a little while. With me, your host, Jan, here in the studio outside Stamford B. Look, mate, we're going to ask the question. The theoretical, I don't know, existential question. Raheem Sterling, Chelsea. We know for a while he's been linked away from Manchester City. And long been linked to the likes of Tottenham and Arsenal, with no indication that he'd want to go to those, but reportedly he would prefer, understandably, to go to Chelsea Football Club. The 27-year-old attacking midfielder / winger has 12 months left on his deal at Manchester City and could be looking for a move. Of course, he's from London, might choose to come to Chelsea. We're going to talk about that in today's video. Chelsea, of course, may be looking for a new attacker. Settle in, subscribe if you're new. Please do consider dropping a like, and I always urge you guys to comment as we go. Comment as you go. Now listen, right, I'm going to show you the stats in just a moment. Raz Sterling, yes, I am going to call him Raz. He's very good for England. I'm an Englishman. He's not 28 till next season. In his prime, he's in fantastic shape. I'm not sure what his injury record is like. And of course, we can say those three words that triggers many people. He is Premier League proven, of course, winning multiple Premier League titles with Man City. Of course, just coming on in that final game and being integral to Man City's turnaround against Villa, losing 2-0, eventually winning 3-2. Him and Gundogan coming on. That pass from Sterling for the Gundogan, was it header? Absolutely incredible. He has got it in his locker. I'm looking, okay, so in his prime, relatively high profile player. I remember a few years ago people were saying, interviewing Pep when he had a good season. So I'm just gonna reel off some stats for you. So this season, in 23 appearances, he has 13 goals and 5 assists. And of course, all of this has to be caveated with it's in a Man City team with loads of quality, and they're all really drilled. But I also want to say that Man City have sort of evolved and developed this last year or so. They're not as free scoring as they were. Not Liverpool. Liverpool can just go for goals and score those. But Man City often, they'll take a 1-0, they'll take a 2-0 because they like to strangle games, which some people say is boring. It means they're just magnificent at winning football games. So 13 goals and 5 assists this season. So that is 18 goal involvements in 23 appearances. 18 goal involvements in 2,100 minutes. A really good return for the role he has played. The season before, he got 10 goals and 7 assists in 2,500, which is a little bit more underwhelming. But if you compare it to Chelsea wingers, it's still a lot. We're going to also reflect on his FBref scouting report in a minute. So, keep it locked. So the season before that, in 1920, he only got 1 assist, but he got 20 goals, which, is golden boot race stuff for a wide forward. Now, that was when people were saying to Pep Guardiola, can he reach Messi numbers? I remember an interview, which is a little bit sensational. 20 goals in the Premier League, and 6 goals in the Champions League, 3 assists. So that's 9 Champions League goal involvements in 599 minutes that season. So if he's feeling confident and well drilled, he's a system player. And then the season before that in the Premier League, he got 18 goals. But most interestingly, he got 11 assists in that season. So that's the 17-18 season. So we're going quite far back now. But that, of course, is 29 goal involvements in 29 games in the Premier League. More than a goal involvement a game, I believe, in terms of minutes. And he's not like a washed out old player, of course. He's 27. He's not he's not 28 for a little while yet as well. So Raheem Sterling will split opinion for Chelsea because he frustrated many Man City fans because he misses chances. But he also can score a lot of chances. He works very hard and he's an intelligent system player for finishing off chances. I personally think, I'm not over the moon with this, but I personally think he's the kind of player that might adapt really quite well into a Tuchel system. Now, if Raheem Sterling had 3 or 4 years left on his deal, if, I wouldn't want Chelsea to pay insane money. But if he's got 12 months left on his deal, he's still refusing. He will have 12 months left on his deal this summer. Well, soon. He's got a year left, and he's refusing to sign with City because he wants more minutes, or whatever. Maybe Chelsea can offer him that. Let's look at his FBref scouting report here, or what he's best at lately. So, of course, this is the last year, and this is versus attacking midfielders and wingers like himself. So, obviously, I've looked at here what he's good at. His XG is in the top 1%. His non-penalty XG is in the top 1%. His non-penalty XG /SH, which I guess is like shots, is top 1%. The touches in the attacking penalty area is in the top 2%. Now that is largely probably because Man City camp out in your third and the forwards touch a lot. But he does hold the ball. He is a ball carrying, finishing winger. He does like to dribble. He'd be quite close. I don't know. He'd sort of be a hybrid between, I don't know, maybe Timo Werner and Pulisic. His average shot distance, I don't know what that means. Does that mean you're the top 5% for taking long shots or short shots? Because surely it's short shots, because how many times have we seen that Raheem Sterling tap in at the end of a Pep Guardiola move? Good at passing, you'd absolutely expect that from a Pep Guardiola winger forward. They have to be good at passing. So he's in the top 7% for goals. He gets over a goal every other game. Again, caveated with Man City, but at the same time, systemically, they've spread the goals around. They haven't had and I know they've just bought Haaland, but they haven't had this talismanic Mohamed Salah type character. So, that's a very, very good return. What I really like is he's in the top 8% for tackles in the attacking third too. Now this is Thomas Tuchel all over. If you've watched Thomas Tuchel's post-match press conferences, and probably more so the instant reaction on the side of the pitch, or whatever, he always talks about recoveries in the final third. He wants to have really quick ball recoveries. If you're attacking and you lose it in the offensive third, Tuchel's all about winning that back. So that makes me think, if he's in the top 8% for that, then good. Penalty kicks one, we've always benefited from that. Your Eden Hazard types, your Jack Grealish's, which they'll be looking for him to do that now at City. And of course, we hoped sort of that of Christian Pulisic, Timo Werner running into the box, keeping the ball near your feet, forcing a foul in a penalty. Pass completion is pretty good. And, like that touches in the attacking third, all that kind of stuff. Really, the question is, guys, do you want Raheem Sterling at Chelsea? Chelsea are signing centre-backs. We're following that on the channel, of course. I imagine most of you are following the content and the updates. We are keeping an eye on the defenders, the midfielders. Of course, Jules Koundé is in London. If you haven't seen this morning's upload, I'd urge you guys to go and see that. In terms of, it does look like Chelsea will sell one winger forward, maybe even two. And of course, we've got the likes of Breuer probably coming back in, but there's still a chance I think he might get loaned out, depending on what he looks like in pre-season. I think Chelsea will buy an attacker. Of course, there is grand dreams of Neymar Jr., because he liked Tuchel liked him. I think if you gave Tuchel the choice of an attacking winger forward, he'd still probably go with Ousmane Dembele, just because of how much he loved him and how much productivity he got out of him. But if Ousmane does go to PSG, if PSG sell Neymar, who's going to buy Neymar? Is he going to go straight to China? He's 30 though. I think Tuchel might like that. But if you said to him, right, look at this guy, Raheem Sterling, you've got a massive body of data of how this guy has performed in the Premier League for the last 5-6 years plus. Going back to Liverpool as well, in the 13-14 season, he's still got 14 Premier League goal involvements. So he's got an absolute wealth of experience. I think his injury record's pretty good. So if you said to Tuchel, you've got all this data to scout Raheem Sterling and how he plays in the Premier League and how he plays against this Premier League opposition, those teams, those defenders you're coming up with. This is how he does it. In a front three, granted a different system, but in a front three, what do you think? He might think that's enough data and be like, yeah, this is the kind of guy I want. Maybe because he's so much of a system player, maybe he thinks he could really nail down the system. But then again, you could make the opposite to play devil's advocate of Tuchel, his attack, seemingly at Chelsea, I can't speak for, PSG and Dortmund because he had quite a good attacking teams there. But Chelsea, it seems like he gives a lot of freedom to the attackers and it's quite vibey. So maybe a Neymar, someone who wants to like just flick the ball around and do Eden Hazard stuff. Eden Hazard was all about the vibes. When it came to tactics, Mourinho, Conte, Sarri, all the rest of them, they gave Hazard the keys. They're like, all right, when you got the ball, just do your thing. I remember Maurizio Sarri saying, like, you don't tell him what to do. Like, you create a system, you let Hazard cook. You'd imagine it would be the same if Chelsea signs Neymar, if there is something there in that story, if there's any truth to it. So I'm not sure Raheem Sterling is that kind of flair player to just do something. But if Thomas Tuchel's looking for a fit, established, utilised attacking tool in the Premier League to, score chances and, press up high and do final third ball recoveries, he might be thinking, look no further than 27-year-old Premier League seasoned Raheem Sterling, who's won multiple Premier League titles. I am quite keen to get the collective thoughts, feelings and opinions on them. A lot of people might not be excited by it, but this guy's used to just winning all the time. And he's a London boy. He'd probably, come to Chelsea with in the prime of his career, thinking this is an opportunity for me to show Man City that this isn't just a move to London for long-term money and starting. I have ambition to keep winning. Of course, Chelsea are the current reigning champions of Europe, who he lost to in the final. There might be some allure there. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. I'm really keen to hear what you guys have to say about this. Peace.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.